Hey everybody, Earl Flamata here, the head of sales over at the Cryptopolitan, and this is the Cryptopolitan podcast. And today our guest is Franklin. Franklin, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a fun day. I'm really enjoying these interviews. I get to learn so much about all these projects. Speaking of which, the very first question, let's just dive right in, is tell us about your project and
Uh,
what's going on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Earl. Once again, I'm Franklin Peters, the CEO of BoundlessPay. And BoundlessPay is a digital banking application that is built to act as a bridge between decentralized finance and traditional finance. I
Mhm.
had a situation when um, I, I used to be a blogger back in the years, and
Gotcha.
it was, towards 2011, 2010. I made some money in my blog, but I couldn't cash out my fund because, the error was this service is not available in your location. I felt bad. I couldn't cash out the fund. Eventually, at some point, I learned about Bitcoin.
Hmm.
I was able to do a transaction where I spent just $1 as transaction fee, and the money went to the recipient within a few minutes. And I'm like, wait a minute, this technology can be used to provide financial access to everybody, irrespective of your location, of irrespective of your skin color. It's more like it provides like a level playing ground for everybody to be able to
Right.
access the financial assets. I also had another experience where I used a local a payment solution to send money to somebody in China, and
Mhm.
it took like 2 weeks before the person
Yep.
received the and we paid about 18% of the fund in fees.
Holy
You
cow.
know, yeah. So I had to connect the dots. How about I create a solution that people can have access to their fund. Kind of cash out their blogging money. At the time that was what I had in mind, and then
Mhm.
it's a system that can help people with global remittance. And then I came up, with the first version of the platform. It was initially an exchange that functioned like Binance, and over time, we had to kind of reform it and kind of pivoted into what we have today in Boundless Pay. So today we are serving close to 100,000 users. Over 32,000 of them are KYC'd
Mhm.
all over Africa. We've currently raised like fund. There are two VCs. We've also been able to process close to $10 million in transaction volume in the last 2 years, and we are just about to take off. So that's what Boundless Pay is.
Fantastic.
I'm very passionate about solving problems, especially when it has to do with financial access in Africa.
Fantastic. I'm from the Philippines, so I understand the plight, right? Like the Philippines' biggest export is like nurses, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody sends money back home. And like
Yeah.
you said, like it's a big fee, right? Just if you're only sending like $300-400 and the wire
Mhm.
cost is 30-40 bucks, you know,
Uh,
10% of
Crazy.
it is already just up in fees,
Yeah.
right? Like it's supposed to
Yeah.
go home to the family, right? That's what it's for, right? You're supposed to go home and
Exactly.
they got you to wherever you want to get to, and then
Yeah.
you're shipping money home, and then half of it goes to the bank. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's too
Yeah.
much. So
Mhm.
you're saying 18%? That's really high, right? So,
It was crazy, man. It was crazy. And what we're doing in Boundless Pay, we have three core aspects of Boundless Pay. We provide comfort to our users, meaning that people don't need to go to P2P platforms to have access to crypto or to cash out.
mhm.
We have created to over 420 banks in our country, and this helps them to kind of on ramp and off ramp from the comfort of their home.
Wow, that makes it
They're
much
very
easier,
good.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, this is the dream, right? I mean, everybody
Yeah,
wants to bring blockchain, crypto, Web3 to the masses, right?
yeah.
And part of it is
Mhm.
that it's hard, right? Because people don't
Yeah.
understand the technology, right? Like I think if my father-in-law or like my mother or any of these people who are not really super good at tech,
Mhm.
you give them a wallet, they're gonna forget everything, right? They'll forget the password. Like I think I swear I reset his password at least once a week for everything else, right? He's like, I want to get into crypto. I'm like, you're not allowed, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna lose your pass key and you lose all your money. And
Yeah,
so I love the fact that you're making it simple for people to on ramp, off ramp, right? Because people don't know how to do that now, right? So
exactly. And speaking of which, I'd like to bring to your notice the fact that talking about simplicity and comfort, um, over the last 2 years, I've come across multiple persons who complained about either losing access to their private keys
mhm,
or losing kind of getting hacked,
yeah,
by people who kind of gain access to your wallet. And I realized that we can't run away from Web 2.
right. It's
You
still
see,
here, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's going to be here forever, really, because not everybody would be able to understand the complexity of private keys, public keys, the mnemonics and stuff like that. And
No.
so Boundless Pay is built on Web 2 experience with Web 3 security. You see,
That's
so
beautiful.
yeah, we took like the best of both worlds. So we are as secure, based on the encryption technology and blockchain aspect of our business, and
Hmm.
the experience in terms of the onboarding, in terms of the user experience, everything is Web 2. So when we're onboarding new users from the rural areas and different countries, they don't feel like they are living their traditional kind of experience because everybody's
Hmm.
already used to the login with your email and password and phone number, right? So you
Right.
don't want drastically push them from that to something entirely new where they have to now really go back to school and learn afresh,
Yeah.
uh, and that's part of the reason why adoption has been slow in the industry, right? Adoption has been super slow because people don't want to be stressed, especially like the old ones. They don't want to be stressed. They
Right.
rather stay on the fiat system. But with Boundless Pay, we've been able to make it in such a way that everybody enjoys crypto. Log
The
in with your
benefit.
email,
Yeah.
your wallet safe and secure. You're able to get your own virtual account personalized. You're able to get your virtual wallet. You're able to perform transactions in a click of a finger. Someone called me the other day from UK and he told me, see, since the first time I started using Boundless Pay, I've not I've not seen the need to use any other wallet. And that's kind of what I love hearing. We want to hear that the solution we've built is really helping people within the ecosystem.
That's magical, right? I mean that's really what it takes to get it to the mainstream, right? You have to make the experience seamless, right? So I like how you said you take the best of both worlds. You have
Yeah.
the UX UI, the follow through, the structure from Web 2, because that's what everyone was used to, right? And let's face it, the old guys,
Yeah.
they can't even use Web 2, right? So,
Yeah.
what's my password? Every 3 days, what's my password? I forgot already. So
Yeah.
so the fact that you bridge that gap and you've made it accessible, I mean,
Mhm.
that's a lot of the battle right there, right? So I'm
Yeah.
curious from Boundless Pay's point of view, what are you most excited about that's coming down the pipe? What's interesting that's coming? I mean, you've already done so much. You made it simple for regular people to use. That's magic right there. What's
Mhm.
next?
Yeah. What's next for us in terms of not just what's next, but also what's exciting that
Mhm.
is coming. We have a couple of products, a couple of features that makes it fun for people to get onboarded into crypto, and
Okay, of
that paying people to use crypto, right? What more can people ask for when they get paid, right?
course.
For switching to crypto. And so recently we launched our native token. It's called BPay,
Okay.
the BPay token. And it's pronounced pay, right? Because it's
Yeah.
BAY, so the B is silent and PAY. And it's spelled pay, it pronounced BPay. So we created this economic model where we kind of reward people with points whenever they log into the app,
Hmm.
um, reward them with some points whenever they perform transactions. We reward them with points when they invite their friends, and essentially when they do anything in the app, they get some points. And at the end
Right.
of the month, they can convert those points to the BPay token, which they can sell, right? And
Great.
people might ask, okay, you're just giving out some free points. What's the economy around this? Don't forget that whenever these activities are performed, like when people buy, sell, on ramp, off ramp, we make some profit. And
Yes.
we've pledged to take 20% of this profit and put back into the open market where our
Mm.
tokens being traded. So it's more like splitting our profits among our users and still keeping some for ourselves as a company, you know.
Right, but
So
you're
that,
sharing the wealth, that you're spreading it around. Everybody gets a little bit.
exactly, exactly. So it's kind of going to encourage as many people in Africa to get on crypto, because those little change means a lot to a lot of individuals.
Absolutely. And plus, on crypto, there's a lot of unbanked, right? So they don't necessarily have it stored someplace safe, right? So this is really good. That's exciting for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Yeah. And I wanted to also mention that in the last 2 years, right? Uh my country, I stay in Dubai, right? I
Yes.
live here in Dubai, but back there in Nigeria, the currency has devalued really badly.
Mm,
It was trading at 360 naira per dollar last year. Um,
yes.
and as I speak to you now, is somewhere above 1,700 naira
Ooh,
dollar. It's like gone down 4 times.
right.
Okay. So everybody that switched from storing their money in fiat onto stable coins were able to avoid the deflation.
Right.
You see, so part of the solution we are bringing to the table is helping people switch from fiat onto stable coins, because essentially
Makes
stable
sense.
coin is the future of currency. We really can't run away from it. You see the dominance of USDT and USDC,
Hmm.
over the years has only increased, and so we're going to see more of this happening, and we might see I personally have seen a lot of people in Africa switch over to stable coins, and they swap to their local currency whenever they want to spend. So in Boundless Pay, we created it in such a way that you can spend directly from your stable coins. So you don't even need to sell your stable coins to spend. So if you're holding like $1,000 and you walk into a shop and you pick up some groceries and you want to pay, you can pay directly from your stable coin, but
Mm,
the cashier receives fiat instantly.
that's
You know,
fantastic. But like
yeah,
you said, it's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against just that's a big drop, 400%, man. That's quite
yeah,
the jump, right? So
yeah,
giving people the opportunity to be able to sit in a stable coin and then convert when you need to buy groceries, that makes sense.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
you're making a real utility, a real service for people. You're really making a difference, right? Because that's a huge shift, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's like I said, is what brings me joy to see people use our solution, to solve their daily problems.
Well, that's part of the joy of building the technology, right? I mean, not only do you get to build something exciting and wonderful and new, you get to
Mhm.
watch people use it, right? And then making that
Yeah.
difference in the life. Man, how many families are you going to change with this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So makes a huge difference. So thank you. You're doing some good work out there.
Thank
So when you're not saving the world,
you.
what do you do for fun?
Oh, okay. So at some point in my life, I was a complete nerd. Like I didn't have any other thing I did aside from business, right?
Okay.
But over time, especially after I got married, I'm married actually.
Oh,
I
nice.
I, I learned, yeah, I am. I learned, I got to understand that, you just have to have like a kind of a distraction, something else that brings you joy that you can kind of relax
Mm.
with. And what I do these days is I do a lot of lawn tennis. I do a lot of paddle. I also
Oh
do
yeah.
karting as well. So these three things is my biggest getaway. And sometimes I do kind of go to the cinema with my wife, have
Nice. Well,
fun.
you have to
Yeah,
enjoy life too, right?
yeah,
It's not all work. And I get that your work is pleasing, right? Because I mean you feel like you're really making a difference in the world, right?
Yeah.
How many users are on the platform? I mean, you're really making a big difference. But then, like I said, got to stop and smell the roses too. It's nice to spend time with your wife. Nice to spend. What was the third thing you said you do?
Yeah, I do karting, I do by paddle, I do lawn tennis, and I we do go to the cinema once in
Yeah,
a
okay.
while.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool. Those are fun hobbies for sure.
yeah.
So, well, it gets you outside, right?
Yeah, yeah. And smell the coffee. And no, and touch grass.
Touch grass, smell coffee. Oh, well, yeah, that's important too, right? Like you need it.
Yeah.
Your brain needs sometimes a rest. Like in this day and age, with like the way things are at, like you can have endless entertainment. Like you can just sit on your screen and be there all day long, right?
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
going outside, touching the grass, getting outside, watching a movie, it stimulates the mind. And the funny thing is, when you do those types of things, like it's been proven, right? You get more ideas, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
'cause you can't just it's impossible. We're not computer, right? You can't be on all the time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unplugging, watching a movie, then you come out of the theater, you might have a new idea for business, right?
Exactly, exactly. And it has happened to me a couple of times. I've I've got some new ideas, doing some things out of the box, like doing stuff out of my business. I've
Mhm.
also been able to connect with new people because kind of taking out time to touch the grass gives you opportunity to meet with new people. And when you meet with
Absolutely.
them, you get to relate with them and understand the kind of problems they face. And it's been helpful to me personally.
Fantastic. Are you going to any interesting events?
Yeah, this year, man, I've been in so many events. I was in Cardano Summit in Dubai.
Mhm.
I was in what you call it, blockchain live in Dubai. I
Yes.
was yeah, I was there. I was in blockchain what you call it, ah. Yeah, I was in blockchain live. I can't remember the name of the third one. Yeah,
No
the
problem.
Future Blockchain Summit. Yeah, Future Blockchain Summit. I was there.
Mm.
The one that was done in partnership with Jitex. I was
Right.
there. Yeah, but I missed out in blockchain what you call it, token 2049.
Okay.
It, yeah, the one in Dubai, I was supposed to be there, but I was somewhere in Africa, and it happened that the flood in Dubai started. I don't know if you heard about the flood in
Yes, I
Dubai.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was stuck in Rwanda. I was in
you
Rwanda
you
then.
can't you can't go to every one of them, right? You can't go
Yeah.
to every one of them. So that's what the community is for, right? Actually, I
Yeah.
didn't get the chance to go to 2049 either, but my friend was actually fighting in the ring. So there was a boxing or like kickboxing fight, and he won. So it's interesting, right? It's a small world, right? Like,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, the crypto world makes it even smaller because everyone's trying to
Yeah.
do good, right? And it's fascinating seeing like how the change in projects have come about the last couple of years, right? Like, I mean, a couple of years ago, everyone was just, pumping and dumping meme coin, right? With no
Yeah. Yeah.
utility, no actual use, just straight speculation, right?
Mhm.
And now, the vast majority of projects that are ending up, even on just this show, right, have really fascinating uses where you're actually making a change in the world, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've also, I was in a Facebook Live yesterday, and we were discussing about the progress that has been made so far in the industry. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, everything has changed. Like I got into this industry in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And by 2016, I became a player and a builder. And I've seen the industry is evolved so much that today you see a lot of news from banks and big industries getting onto Bitcoin. MicroStrategy bought some 4 point something billion dollars worth of Bitcoin
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. Vanek and Fidelity and BlackRock, everybody raking in Bitcoins. And the Donald Trump, the president-elect of America, kind of being super bullish about Bitcoin. And bro, like the future is here. This is the kind of future that we were anticipating back in the years. And I remember each time I went on a training session, like educating people on cryptocurrency, I told them, bro,
Mm-hmm.
this the future. Banks and big pocket people are going to get onto crypto, and it's going to go Valhalla. And today, Bitcoin is sitting at $92,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, all-time high, right? So it's fun watching and being part of the community, being part of the ride. You know,
Mhm.
it's fun being part of this ecosystem that this new financial thing that's taken over the world, right? It's interesting watching it flourish and grow. So that's always a cool thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
speaking of flourish and grow, why don't we talk about, let's give people a reason to connect with you, and where do you want them to connect with you? How do you want them to connect with you? So first
Yeah.
things first, why should people connect?
Because I'm a great guy.
Indeed.
Yeah, of course. Once in a like occasionally I do put out some interesting posts on my
Hmm.
socials. Yeah, most of the times on my Instagram story.
Okay.
And yeah, most times on my LinkedIn as well. So I'll be happy to connect with anyone that would like to stay close, read some of those my posts, anyone who would like to connect. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn at Franklin Peters. So you can
Hmm.
just search for Franklin Peter. Well, you can put the full name, Franklin Peter Odemenam. So that's the full name on LinkedIn. You can also search for Blockchain Oracle on
Blockchain Oracle. Okay.
yes,
On Insta.
that's
Okay.
yeah, on
Fantastic.
Instagram, Blockchain Oracle. And on my Twitter, you can search for B Oracle 01. I used to have B Oracle, but Twitter took my handle down. I
Oh,
had like 24,000 followers, and now I have to rebuild from scratch,
that's
So it
okay. You have an interesting project. You have an interesting ecosystem. You have an interesting, everything, right? So,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
fact that people can send the money and it's in minutes instead of 2 weeks, big difference for the world, right? So,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
fees aren't eating everything up. So that's really, it's a nice fresh take on just the basics, right? Because sometimes people they go, oh, I want this fancy stuff. Sometimes it's just getting the basics to work the way you think they're supposed to work, right?
yeah,
So there's
exactly.
magic in that.
Yeah, there is, magic in solving problems. Is a huge magic. Living your legacy, making a legacy by solving problems is a huge magic for
Hmm,
me. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I think you're making changes and strides in the world. So thank you for the work you guys are
yeah.
doing over at
Thank
Boundless
you.
Pay. Hey, I really appreciate you jumping on the podcast here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Earl. You're currently in Philippines?
Me, I live in Vancouver, Canada. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
but
one.
I'm Filipino, but I live in Canada. So yeah.
Canada. I hope to visit Canada pretty soon. I have plans of going to the US next year. So if I have the opportunity, I'll kind of come to
Fantastic. Well,
Canada.
if you get a chance, if you
Yeah,
get the chance to roll by Vancouver, I'll show you all the good places to eat.
sure, sure. And anytime you come to Dubai, I'm here. I'll really,
Awesome. It's a
yeah.
deal. It's a deal. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much, Earl. Have a good day.